Hello, and thank you for joining us for our ChurchAlive Easter devotions this week. Having church online has created unique opportunities for us to share these devotions with friends and family. So I want to encourage you, if you're at home with your family, gather some around and let's share this devotion together. And you can also share this with those that you think it will make a difference to. Today we are going to be starting on day 1 of our 7-day devotions, and this is specifically to prepare your heart for Easter and to experience some of the things that are important as believers at this time. If you are not yet a believer, you'll also find this helpful because it will give you some things to think about the life of Jesus, the death of Jesus, and what it could mean to you. So I want to encourage you to look up the scriptures and to connect with the songs that we're going to recommend in each of the devotions this week. Today I want to share with you a passage that is one of my favorites from Psalm 84, and it says, "What joy for those whose strength comes from the Lord, who have set their minds on a pilgrimage to Jerusalem." And then this links in with a tradition that they had in the Old Testament, where for the important feasts like Passover, entire families would go through to Jerusalem to meet with God and to worship God at a central place. It goes on to say, "When they walk through the valley of weeping, it will become a place of refreshing springs. The autumn rains will cover it with blessing. They will continue to grow stronger, and each of them will appear before God in Jerusalem." And this has a prophetic promise in it. It was not just about a physical pilgrimage of worshippers walking to the temple in Jerusalem. It's a spiritual blessing for each person who sets their heart to seek God. As we move towards God, He promises that He will strengthen us, He will refresh us, and that we will be able to see Him face to face. And that is what this devotion is about setting our hearts to meet with God, to make that pilgrimage. And I want to encourage you each day to consider the different aspects and to get closer to God each day. If we think about the time of Jesus, when people went to the Jerusalem temple for Passover, for some it was a short walk. From Bethlehem to Jerusalem was a 2 to 3 hour walk. For many of us that sounds more like a hike, but you could do that in a day. But for many of the families, they would have had to take more than a day to travel. Jesus grew up in Nazareth, and when He grew up walking to the temple in Jerusalem, they would have had to travel 150 kilometers on foot. Those who were more wealthy might have had a horse or a donkey to travel on, but for most people it was a several days journey to go to Jerusalem. As they were walking on the road, it's amazing when you go on a road trip with family, the kind of conversations and interactions that you have with one another. I believe that the pilgrimage wasn't just about the destination, it was also about the journey, the conversations that they would have had along the way. Parents explaining to their children why it's important that we put aside time to go and meet with God in His temple. Those that were interested in studying the scriptures, taking time to discuss with one another what did they think the teaching would be that particular Passover. As they talked and walked together, I believe family bonds were deepened. And I believe this time, as many people are indoors and spending more time with family, this is a unique opportunity to have those kind of conversations with your family, to build those relationships, and to deeply consider God's Word. I want to encourage you, like Jesus must have done with His family, to take seriously the pilgrimage that God calls us to take time to head towards God, to get our hearts ready to meet with God. I want to share a song with you that I have found very meaningful at this time, and it's called Highlands, or the other subtitle is Song of Ascent by Hillsong. And you can look that up and take some time to pray and to worship as you listen to the words. It talks about a journey towards God, a journey to find Him. How much would we put into the effort to find Him if we knew exactly where He was going to be? Would you travel if you knew that Jesus was going to be in your city? Would you put aside that time to make the effort to connect with God face to face? And the conclusion of the song is that He's not that hard to find. I pray that you'll be blessed as you take time to read God's Word, to listen to good worship songs, and to prepare your heart for this Easter week. God bless you.
Hey, I hope you enjoyed that. Please can you like, follow, and subscribe, and turn on notifications to stay in touch with all of our latest content. If you have any feedback for us, you can drop it in the comment sections. If you have any prayer requests, you can also drop it in the comment sections, or head over to our DM and drop us a request there, or alternatively, you can go over to our website and leave it there. Or you can also keep in touch with us by dropping us a text on our WhatsApp line. Remember, stay connected. Have a good one.